Oh, I've always known that God was my creator, and that without him, boy, nothing works. You know, right today, I could sit and say I have animosity towards a
record company.
Yeah, a company that owns the rights to my work. You know, they're businessmen. They're doing what it is that makes their business successful, and I'm also allowed to do things that make my business successful. And for me, that would be to own my work. So I just chose to step away from that. With courageous people going out there and actually saying something and standing up for it, I think we'll get some balance. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. I don't consider it proper that my creations belong to someone else. I can go up to a little kid on the street and say, do you know that I don't own Purple Rain? And they're appalled by that. So, you know, not being under contract, there's no rush to do anything. It's a double-edged sword, and it's not that it's just about the money, but it's about justice and fairness. And when people say that they love you and they respect you, but at the same time take, you know, 80% of your earnings, then expect you to fix your own communities, and they'll probably edit all of this out. But
in a world where legends are often larger than life, the story of Prince remains as enigmatic and fiercely guarded as the man himself. Imagine a documentary so vast and ambitious that it spanned 9 hours, promising to reveal layers of complexity about one of music's most extraordinary figures. But just as the film neared its debut, a dramatic power play unfolded behind the scenes, a battle over legacy, truth, and control. Today, we're diving deep into how the estate of the late funk superstar Prince managed to block the release of an epic Netflix documentary, leaving fans and insiders alike questioning what secrets are meant to be revealed and what truths should remain hidden. Ezra Edelman, a director with an undeniable reputation for tackling the impossible, took on this colossal project with unwavering determination. Best known for his groundbreaking work on OJ, Made in America, Edelman had spent 5 long years crafting a narrative that promised to explore every facet of Prince's intricate persona. With the promise of unlimited access to Prince's legendary archives, familiarly known as the Vault, the project was poised to offer fans unprecedented insight into the life, art, and mystique of a man who transcended conventional boundaries in music and performance. Initially, the estate had secured a multi-million-dollar deal that ensured Edelman would have the freedom to explore without the heavy hand of editorial control, a rare opportunity in the world of documentary filmmaking. Yet, as the project progressed, a surprising twist began to unravel. In 2022, the very heart of the estate's governance shifted. New figures emerged: heirs, close associates, and the influential company Primary Wave, all stepping in to take the reins of Prince's legacy. With this change came a stark departure from the original agreement. The newfound custodians of the estate moved quickly to block further access to the vault, demanding immediate cuts, reshoots, and alterations to a film they deemed sensationalized and riddled with factual inaccuracies. What was meant to be an honest, raw portrayal of Prince's life suddenly became a battleground for those determined to control his narrative. This sudden shift raises questions that echo far beyond the corridors of boardrooms. How does a legacy built on brilliance and rebellion come to be confined by those entrusted with its protection? Sources revealed that the new estate administrators, driven by a fierce duty to honor and protect Prince's memory, were not content with a film that painted a picture too raw or too unfiltered. Music producer Charles Spicer, a key member of the estate, took to social media with a defiant message, condemning what he saw as a 9-hour hit job that threatened to distort the true essence of Prince's genius. The estate's move was not simply a rejection of Edelman's work. It was a stand against any narrative that could potentially diminish the multifaceted nature of the icon. Yet, the content of Edelman's documentary promised more than just a sanitized biography. Even in its incomplete form, the film ventured into territories that many considered taboo. It dared to present a side of Prince that was as human as it was extraordinary, a side that included allegations of physical altercations, struggles with dependence on pain medication, and even controversial critiques of some of his more contentious lyrics. Among the voices featured in the film was that of Jill Jones, Prince's former girlfriend, whose harrowing claims of a physical assault added a layer of shock to an already explosive narrative. These revelations, while unsettling, were seen by some as a necessary exploration of the truth behind the myth. They underscored a reality that no one, not even a legend, is entirely immune to controversy and personal conflict. And then there were the voices of those who knew Prince best. In the wake of watching the film, Questlove, the celebrated musician and storyteller, described the experience as a heavy pill to swallow. He spoke candidly about the paradox of idolizing someone only to confront their all-too-human flaws. He's a genius. He's majestical. He's sexual. He's flawed. He's trash. He's divine, Questlove observed, encapsulating the dizzying array of contradictions that defined Prince. For him and many others, the documentary was a rare opportunity to see beyond the polished public image, a chance to recognize the deeply human elements that made Prince so compelling. It was a reminder that behind the myth, there was a person grappling with the same complexities as anyone else, no matter how extraordinary. As these controversies stirred public debate, the final act in this unfolding drama emerged in a striking display of power and precision. In a mutual agreement announced by Netflix, the completed 9-hour film was officially shelved. Instead of releasing Edelman's extensive work, the estate declared its intention to develop and produce a new documentary featuring exclusive content culled from Prince's private archive. The statement was both clear and defiant. It was time for the estate to take control of the narrative, to free the vault for its own vision of Prince's story. This decision was celebrated by the estate's representatives as nothing less than a major victory, an opportunity to ensure that every facet of Prince's legacy was presented with the depth and dignity they believed the icon deserved. But what does this mean for fans and for the broader narrative of artistic expression? On one hand, there is the tantalizing possibility of a new, in-depth exploration that promises to reveal untold stories and unseen footage from the legendary musician's private collection. On the other hand, there is an unsettling concern that the essence of Prince, his rebellious spirit, his defiance of conventional boundaries, may be muted under the weight of carefully managed storytelling. It's a battle between two competing visions, one that values raw, unfiltered truth, and another that insists on safeguarding a legacy from the potential distortions of sensationalism. This clash touches on a broader, more profound question: who truly owns a legend's story? When a figure as monumental as Prince is no longer with us, the power to shape his narrative falls into the hands of those entrusted with his legacy. The estate's decision to cancel Edelman's documentary and instead produce their own film is emblematic of the eternal tension between creative freedom and legacy preservation. It raises the issue of whether an artist's full truth can ever be captured on film, or if it is destined to be filtered through layers of memory, myth, and the sometimes self-interested desires of those in charge. For some, the estate's victory is a necessary act of stewardship. Lindell McMillan, a key estate member and the lawyer behind the negotiations, called the decision a big win for Prince's legacy. In his view, the new documentary will be more than just a retelling of events. It will be an in-depth exploration of the complexities and contradictions that made Prince a musical genius. It's a promise that every nuance, every triumph, and every struggle will be given the respect and context it deserves. In a world where history is often rewritten by those with the loudest voice, this move is seen as a safeguard against narratives that might dilute the true essence of an icon. Yet, the implications of this decision ripple out far beyond one film or one estate. They speak to a cultural moment when the control of a narrative has become as contested as any headline news. We live in an era where every detail of a public figure's life is scrutinized, debated, and often sensationalized. In the case of Prince, the tension between maintaining an untarnished legacy and confronting the raw, unvarnished truth reflects a larger debate about authenticity, respect, and the power of storytelling. The decision to block a film that dared to show a less than perfect version of an icon is a stark reminder that sometimes history is curated as much as it is recorded. As we consider the fallout from this high-stakes standoff, it's impossible not to wonder about the future of documentary filmmaking and legacy management. What does it mean for an artist's story when the narrative is tightly controlled by those with a vested interest in preserving a particular image? How do we balance the need for honest, sometimes uncomfortable truth against the desire to honor a legacy without compromise? These questions are as relevant today as they were when Prince first burst onto the scene, and they will likely shape the discourse around artistic expression for years to come. In the end, the saga of the canceled Netflix documentary is more than just a behind-the-scenes power struggle. It's a testament to the enduring complexity of Prince's legacy. A legacy that, even in its contradictions, continues to captivate, provoke, and inspire. The estate's bold move to reclaim control over Prince's story is both a protective measure and a challenge. It forces us to confront the idea that the truth about a legend may never be fully known, and that the stories we tell are as much about our desire to preserve a myth as they are about uncovering reality. So, as we stand at this crossroads of artistic freedom and legacy management, one thing remains clear: the story of Prince is far from over. Whether through a meticulously curated documentary from the estate or an unfiltered exploration by an independent filmmaker, the layers of his life will continue to unravel, inviting us to question, to debate, and to marvel at the paradox of genius. In a world where every narrative is subject to interpretation and control, we are left with a final, lingering thought. Can any estate ever truly contain the multifaceted legacy of an icon, or will the full truth of Prince always remain just out of reach? The answer, much like Prince himself, is as elusive and intriguing as the man who redefined music and culture. And perhaps that mystery is what makes his story so compelling. A reminder that even in the face of controlled narratives, the essence of a true legend can never be completely silenced.